Let's get people in this bitch.
Is there a YouTube chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my eye on it. Oh, whoever else is on. Oh, that was me, I think. Whoever else is on. If anyone's looking at the YouTube chat, make sure you mute it.
How the fuck do we even look at the YouTube chat?
You can just pull it up on YouTube.
Oh, because it says that we're on. It says that we're live right now. Yeah, I got the YouTube thing open. So I can see
shit. Default Snowball Blue. Okay. Cool. Hey, can one of you guys listen to the YouTube chat for me and actually see if you can hear my voice, because otherwise
Cool. I hear you.
Yeah. Cool. Listen to the YouTube chat for me. How long does it delay? See if you can hear my voice.
5 seconds, probably.
Yeah,
I think the only people watching are us.
I'm liking it.
Are we live right now?
We're live right now. 2 minutes elapsed.
I can't see how many people are in there.
Whatever. Eat it. Let's go.
6 watching. Okay. Here a couple.
What do you mean? I just have it open on several tabs.
Oh, word.
I don't care that much.
Great guy. What a guy. Yo, Logan, can you change the title? To CrossWorld Cast guy.
The hiccups of starting a stream. I really wish I could like start streaming to YouTube and then on YouTube have it not go live. Yikes.
What's going on, everybody that's joining in to watch now? We're just gonna give it a couple more minutes for a few people to hop on.
Did the title actually change?
Let me refresh and find out.
Yeah, you gotta refresh the page and all that shiz.
It did. First stream, by the way.
Yo, check that description.
Please roast us. Big fan.
Alright.
What do we have going on tonight, Kel? We're going to be talking about a few different things. We're talking about AC for just a little bit, just recap on that. Then we're going to go into a ban list discussion, just talking about the ban cards and what that might mean for the game. And then we're going to talk about the expected meta as a result of the ban list. Alright, we've got a couple people in here and they'll keep on rolling. You guys ready to get started?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to CrossWorld TCG. Welcome to our first CrossWorldCast live stream. First time, well, like our first little bit of experimenting with live content. Logan was streaming the other night. He wants to do some more stuff on Twitch, and we're going to be doing this CrossWorldCast kind of, I'm not sure exactly how frequently yet. I'm thinking like bi-weekly, maybe something along those lines, but we'll see, how it goes and how available everyone is. But this is something I definitely want to experiment with more. So I'll go around and introduce the rest of the table. So we've got Logan over in California, fellow content creator for CrossWorld TCG. You want to say hi to the people, Logan?
How's everyone doing out there tonight? Are you guys ready for a great stream? It's probably not going to be that good. First time. We're going to have a few hiccups, but stick with it. It'll get better.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this as much to get you guys content. We're doing this to feel out the waters, see what live content is doing. Because we definitely got some good YouTube content going out there, but we're gonna definitely try and delve into more live content. So then we have the beautiful Champa right below me. So that's my good friend, local testing partner, Larry, friend of the channel. You guys all know Larry if you guys have been around the channel before. Let's say what's up, Larry.
Howdy. How's everybody doing? I'm a Champa because, you know, I don't have my webcam set up and I'm too lazy to go find it.
And he's fat.
And he loves that Champa boy. And then we've got Cam up in the corner. So Cam is a Rhode Island player, somewhat local to like me and Larry. He is also a judge for Dragon Ball Super, so he deserves your utmost respect for putting up with all of us. So say what's up to the people, Cam.
How's it going, everybody?
All right, and Cam also was doing the 7-star report over in Rhode Island, streaming some local gameplay. Can we expect to see a little bit more from the 1-star report?
1-star report. Boy,
7-star.
7-star. Sorry, 7-star.
So yeah, which run? Because of the holidays, a lot of stuff slowed down. So my goal is ultimately just to create a little more live gameplay, and ultimately it just comes down to when I'm able to get the locals together. If my stream quality isn't total crap, then it's gonna work the best we can. But we're hoping to do some live tournaments again, like we did with the box tournament.
Yeah, I know. Cam is definitely, you know, he's been around the Magic scene with live streaming and whatnot, and he honestly, right before this, he helped us put some stuff together. So much appreciation, much love. So all right, we're gonna just dive right into the discussion topic. So we're gonna touch briefly on Atlantic City, kind of just touch upon the recap of that. So let's start with Cam. You right before we started the stream, you were like AC was weird. So I want to hear what you have to say about that.
So I'm coming from a total perspective of judging, not playing. So watching all the other decks and archetypes come around, and I was just very interested in the fact of how much Storm was not at AC, knowing that it was kind of the final hurrah of the deck itself. You know, since the ban list came out, I thought everyone was going to be like, oh, let's get deck in, we got one more big tournament and just take it by a literal storm.
Right.
So, I mean, the person I expected to show up with Storm, Jordan Markle, played
Of
Ruby
course.
Storm. Yep. He was at the top tables for, I think, 80% of day one. Like, just powerhouse with that deck. But the deck that I saw that I knew was going to showcase was Janemba. That deck was the best medical, and I was telling everyone I was in the car with, people that I was talking to, especially you, that if I was playing in the tournament, the medical, I would have just played Janemba and built a deck to just specifically beat that deck was the best medical, and I was telling everyone.
Yeah, no, it was a great meta pick. I mean, it has a great Shenron matchup because you can either mill out their win con, and they already thin their own deck out usually by 14 cards.
Yep.
So that's a great matchup there. And then you have a great Storm matchup because you're just a turtle deck, and your goal is to not lose. So you play all the fake super combos and all the beans. Your goal is just to not lose, and that deck does that very, very well. So definitely a great meta call. And honestly, looking at the field, which was a lot of Shenron and a lot of Storm, or a decent amount of Storm, I guess, Janemba was a good pick to win the event. Yeah, so Logan, you kind of were in and out of watching the stream all day. Did you watch a good majority of the? You watched a good majority of the stream, right?
Yeah, I watched a good majority of the day one stream. I'm sorry, I was trying to manage stream. What was exactly your question?
I was just gonna ask, what did you think about the event, just from like the outside perspective of watching stream?
Outside perspective, looking in, the streamcasters did a really good job showing off a variety of decks. So throughout the day, we didn't get a good look at the top tables. Like I think Mill was only on stream maybe once. It did body Peter Katani playing his red Frieza deck, so it obviously was a good contender for that day. But the streamcasters kind of veered a little more towards the maybe not rogue matchups, but the more interesting matchups that stream might be interested in looking at. Like I know that you got on stream with your Broly deck.
Hey, yeah, people apparently like wanted Broly all day on stream, which was really cool. And I hope people like my deck a lot, because I definitely think that the lineage was a little bit of a cool twist. So we got a couple cool people in chat. What's up, Markle? What's going on? What's up to my Uncle Steve in the chat? What's going on, Uncle Steve? Kevin's in the chat. What's going on? So yeah, I mean, I think it was a great event ran by PPG. Larry, our resident scrub out from AC. How did you feel about the event?
Yeah, wow, thanks. I can't even remotely deny that.
I gotta give you that one because you won the event the previous weekend. I gotta give you a punch.
He won Hartford and then scrubbed Atlantic City.
No, Atlantic City was just, the event was good. It was just like playing the deck I was playing. It was a deck you lose to like hard if you misplay, and I was just misplaying left and right all day.
Yeah,
Like-
we got a little bit screwed with that the night before.
Yeah, the night sleep before that wasn't really sleep, was trash, and like I was just playing like garbage the whole day, and I'm like I lost like 2 games that I should have won. I lost to myself, drew a game because time got called, and like my opponent was just took like 3 minutes to charge. And I'm like, oh, whatever.
Cam,
OP,
where were you,
dude.
Cam? You're supposed to be there for you, boy.
Is that the whole reason why you guys were cool with me judging on NXT? Just like it's free when you guys are the top 32?
Every time.
Shut up, man. Shut up.
The only matchup I think that like I solidly lost that whole day was and like thought to myself was against Hercule, which is when, you know, I hit the guy with foreseeing hit. He showed me Demigras and 7-drop Gogeta. I'm like, okay, combo my whole hand into this next swing, have Bean Dimension Magic to stop the Demigras, and like I just couldn't answer the Demigras, and I, you know, Hercule being Hercule, that was game 1. Game 2, he just, you know, I set him back 2 turns with a forced ejection, and he still got to turn 5 to 7-drop me because he was so turtly.
Yeah, that's the nature of Hercule right there. Yeah, and it's funny because no one really plays Hercule, and you ran into like the one fringe Hercule deck.
Yeah, I know.
Hercule was great. That deck fell like a million floors, but yeah, I mean, just personally, me playing in Atlantic City too, I thought the event was ran great. You know, shout out to PPG for running a cool event, and really happy I took Broly. Larry convinced me very last minute to change to Broly. I was gonna play the deck Larry played, but the Mighty Hurrigarden deck you guys might have seen on the channel, but I was not nearly as comfortable with the deck as Larry was, so I'm glad he convinced me to change to something I was more comfortable with Broly. Was able to grab top 32. That was really cool. And actually, I guess this will transition us into our next talking point, the ban list. So before the ban list, some of you guys may have seen my ban list video, not a ban list channel, by the way. And I was a little dramatic, I guess you can say, about the ban list. You know, oh, they killed Storm off. Shenron's just gonna take over everything by storm with Gogeta.
Gogeta 7.
Yeah, Gogeta 7 just is gonna win everything. And I after experiencing AC, even though the hits weren't in place yet, it kind of reassured me that the game is gonna be okay. Because for one, I think aggro decks are still gonna be okay post ban list, even though 2 really good aggro cards got hit, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it allowed me to see that even with Borgos and the new Goku in play, that I think the format's a little more balanced, because even though Storm was still pretty much full power minus Borgos and striving to be the best into the format, the top 16 was only like 3 Hurrigarden, only 2 of which were Storm, 5 Shenron, which is like, you know, that was fine. There's only 5 decks, 4 Janemba, and then a couple, you know, other fringe strategies up on top cut. So I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, I guess we'll get into the ban list discussion. So let's jump it off to Larry. So what do you think about the ban list, just in general?
So I think that it was kind of weird. Kind of came out of, I don't hate it, I don't like it. The one thing I see that I don't necessarily agree with was probably Flute to 0.
Yeah, it definitely came out of blue. Like a lot of other stuff they've done in the past, it was like they put a watch list out first, but in this one they just like, oh, here's a ban list.
I think Flute could actually be at 4 if Unyielding is hit. If Unyielding is hit, because then you're looking at, if you're moving forward, the aggro is a lot slower, right? Because you have so many Asu with Crisis Crusher, with the FR Goku.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if you don't have that and I swing with my 1-drop Trunks or Kaba, it's vulnerable to get swung over. Flute's the only thing that answers it. The thing that made it so pressuring when Flute first came out was I could swing, play Unyielding, drop it again, and swing. But if Unyielding's at 1, it's like I only have 1 early game aggro, if that makes sense. So it's like it's still energy investment into it every turn. So the game, like, that's why I could see Flute going back to 4, and it's weird to hit every early game engine that puts so much pressure on early, because then you're gonna have no early game aggro decks. Like,
well,
that's my opinion on it.
So just to rebut that, that was honestly one of my big opinions when this whole thing, you know, first dropped. that Storm is dead and like that whole thing, and there's gonna be no early game, so Shenron Gogeta is gonna take the format by storm. But even they didn't touch Bardock into dependable Goku. That's still like a 1 energy 2 attack swing. You plus 1 less card. That's absolutely true, but it's still a 1 energy 2 swings, 2 damage, just like a Kava almost, but two attacks and a bigger body on board that can't just get re-threatened. So I have Jordan Marco in the chat. Goten did nothing wrong, but yeah, I mean that's where my opinion changed. Honestly, that's where my opinion changed, because you can still Bardock into dependable Goku. You still have a 15k beater on the board. Your opponent has to answer, otherwise it's just gonna swing at them again. So that's kind of just my like rebut to that. I definitely don't want to see Flute back at 4. I think at 1 it was a non-factor. I don't think it needed to be hit really to 0. I definitely don't want it back at 4, but that's just my rebut to that. Is like I think that there's still gonna be. I think aggro got made a little bit more fair by Goten going away. But let's pass it off to Logan. What do you think about the ban list, Logan?
I think the ban list is juice, except for this 3-drop cell hit. The only thing that would actually make this make sense is if we're about to get some supremely juicy cell cards that they're just absolutely terrified of us having the 3-drop for. Other than that, Blue Cell Leader 1. Dude, Blue 21 Leader, because she's an android, right?
Yeah, could be.
I mean, we can wish for it, but I don't think Bandai will give it to us.
What have we not gotten yet? We haven't gotten blue spoilers. We haven't gotten
SRs.
Is that the only one we're missing?
Blues and SRs. Yeah.
Blues and SRs.
Well, I guess the secret rare too, but
yeah, that's always last. That's always held off for the last.
Yeah, I mean
Go ahead.
Sorry, the other hit's very fair. Like Unyielding, I think they left it at 1 because they just printed the Judge versions. I think that's why both of these were at 1 instead of banned, because they still have Judge packs in circulation where you can pull these cards. And pulling Judge versions of banned cards seems like the most garbage thing that could happen to a person.
Tell me about it.
For sure. Oh yeah. Rip my boy Cam in the chat. But yeah, no, just back to the point before, like I think like at first I did think that Yielding to 1 and Goten to 0 was a really big aggro hit, but I do think aggro will still be able to play the game. Another great aggro pick I think is gonna be Shenron Veggies. For some reason I don't understand it, but like no one in America wants to play Shenron Veggies, and I just don't get why. Like it won a Latin American Nats, and then just no one wants to play it otherwise. But I think it's a great aggro pick. And yeah, Zelda 1 was interesting. One of the things that pondered me about that, like even now, even though I kind of agree with the ban list more now, is like you limit the 3-drop cell to 1, so you can still get luck sacked by it, which is kind of annoying because the cell matchup changes, right? Like you still play conservatively on your life and keep a low hand size, but you kind of have to respect it at all times, even though it's at 1, which is like kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Like it gets really weird, and then like you still have Gogeta 7 in the format, which is like still a really oppressive hand control. Like even though I don't think it's gonna be as broken as I thought it was, I think it's still gonna be kind of oppressive. So I don't know. Let's bounce off to Cam. What are your thoughts, Cam?
Oh, here we go. So
oh baby,
I'm gonna start off by just saying this. I'm a big fan of everything that was in. Now I'll kind of start off with the big one. I think Unyielding. My thing is that if you can put a card to 1, the card can go to 0. There should be no real like restricted in this game. Reason being is that because the game becomes only ends within 5 to 6 turns now, it creates an unfair advantage in regards to RNG. And say for example you have 2 Arudagon decks that are going up against each other, and Unyielding tends to be that one card that tends to give you the advantage. The RNG, I personally think, makes it a little unfair. If they were to draw the Unyielding besides say the other one that may have it in that last card in their life, then they will know. But Unyielding is, I'm glad that got hit, because blue energy should not be free. Like you should not do nothing and get this amazing reward.
Right.
Goten was a card that it was a little bit of a difficult look at it, but Goten, I understand why it got hit. It was a very, very strong engine in which you technically are swinging with 1-drop Bardock, getting a card, so you're already even on that. You are going 0 back. You're not negative or losing anything, and then picking back up Bardock. So now you still +1 in case you need to combo 5k. Now you have Goten, which is now looking at 3. And you're taking 1 out of that, so already now you're looking at +2. That's insane for how fast the deck was. And I can see why Bandai would want to get rid of that, because it doesn't feel friendly to newer players that want to play the game. It's like walking into a locals and everyone's playing Trunks or Rudigarn Storm. It's just so unfavorable.
Absolutely.
You don't even get to play the game if you're not prepared for it.
Exactly. Flute, again, same exact issue as Unyielding. If you can put it to 1, put it to 0. It creates unfair RNG. Joey, you guys probably understand that in the Storm Mirrors, watching someone play their Flute and just completely annihilate that turn and say the guy didn't even draw a Flute and never saw it, how much does that suck when you're like, oh, you won because you had the Flute? We had identical board states.
See, I kind of disagree with that, because I feel like Flute at 1 was like, it was cute, it was good, like it was very good when you drew it. It allowed you to resummon the Goten, but like I don't know if that was necessarily the storm matchup's decider, per se. I think seeing it was really good, but I think at 1 it was kind of like a non-factor. I don't think it was like one of the most broken cards in Storm at that point.
It wasn't the most broken, but it was more of an enabler, and that's what Bandai wanted to get deck, because they were scared that if they didn't hit the cards that were problematic, that the deck could either resurface or a deck could take its place that could do if not close to what Storm was doing. And so Bandai was like, get rid of it. We don't want to deal with it. That's it. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Well, then my question to that is, do you think Storm is doing what it did because of being able to drop Gotens for free and 2-drop for free, or is it because of all the free energy that they got from digging? But then...
I think are you asking why they hit Goten, or is it like...
No, but like, I'm saying like, so the thing is like, okay, so you have Goten, but the thing is Storm would abuse energy, right? Because of whether they play Unyielding or Senzu Beans offensively to extend plays. But then you cut down almost half of their extenders. Is Storm still going to be as oppressive as it is?
If Flute was not, if they just didn't Flute and they kept Goten? That's what I'm probably getting at.
Saying like Flute was at 1,
Okay.
Goten was still there.
Okay.
Unyielding gets zeroed. We zero out Unyielding.
Yes, Storm could probably continue with the game plan that they have because they still have access to Sensu. Now it doesn't allow them to completely tap out and then go for that type of turn, which makes those players have to play a little smarter and have to manipulate their energy a little differently. But it could slow them down a turn. But I think Bandai was more confused and worried that they were losing their player base due to the fact that that deck was popular. And they were like, if the deck can kill in 2 turns, it negates the whole fact of why should we play the game at all. I saw so many people lose interest in playing because of that deck.
I totally agree. Like this game has such cool boss monsters, and like most of the really juicy cards are kind of like at the 4 or 5 range. So I definitely can see like a turn 2 kill deck is very unfair. I think the limits to Storm combined with Borgos and Striving make Storm and aggro a lot more fair, because they're actually, I'm really happy about this, that there are actual answers to Borgos and to FR Goku. Let's talk to chat real quick. So we've got Jordan Markle, the champ. My boy Cam knows what's up. Gotta love him. Ryan Maloney, Goten just a boy, they did him dirty. Mark isn't Goku a response to it, or is it not worth it to put in many decks? I'm new, trying to understand the choices here. So this actually brings up a point I want to talk about, the Goku being a response to Storm. Goku is definitely a response to Storm, and I actually think that Goku is a better answer to Storm than Borgos is. Kind of from the actual tournament from AC, I've kind of come to the conclusion that Borgos is like a do-nothing card. Let me tell you why. Storm can still play an insane game on 2 yellow charge, no blue, no access Sensu Bean. That's kind of just made apparent by Broly Storm being a thing. I was playing one of my matches, and I saw to my left, it was a match between Sawyer and Eric Goodwin. If you guys are in the community, might know who they are. They're pretty good players.
I know what match you're talking about.
Yeah, Sawyer was playing Rudigarn Storm, and Eric Goodwin was playing Janemba. On Sawyer's second turn, he put, Goodwin had his Borgos on board. He put Goodwin to 3 life through a Borgos. Just charged 2 yellows. Never needed to untap except with his leader effect. So because of that, I feel like the 2-drop Goku is a way better answer than Borgos is. So thoughts on that? Let's start with Logan.
Definitely. I was only half paying attention. Like I said, I was monitoring stream and stuff. But Yeah, it's very easy to get rid of Borgos or just play around it. You know, it's a one
Yeah,
drop.
absolutely.
And honestly, with the amount of untap that Storm did have, it was easy to play around. And since we have this new Broly leader, it's honestly, it's too easy to pivot around the Borgos itself. There's no real way to pivot around Goku FR outside of playing suboptimal cards that will impact the curve of your deck.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I main deck 2 Frieza biding his time in my Broly deck, and I'm really glad I did it. It was a last-minute suggestion by my teammate Pat O'Neill, and I'm really glad I did it because it answered a lot of strivings all day. Yeah, Larry, thoughts on Borgos versus striving?
Yeah, no, Borgos is probably not going to be main deck worthy since Annealing's hit, right? In my opinion, nobody really plays Bean offensively.
It's true. Borgos I actually thought was better against the Shenron decks, believe it or not, to hit at all cost Vegetas and offensively untapping with Shenron, stuff like that. But go back to what you're saying.
Yeah, like it all depends on matchup, right? Because Borgos is better for that matchup, but then FR Goku's completely dead that matchup because they don't swing with any low drops.
Right.
But then if you're playing against specifically like Brawly Storm, Brawly can just rest mode Borgos and then threaten it with anything else where you can't, you know, Brawly can't rest FR Goku and then they lose out on a lot of aggro.
Right. Well, Borgos also doesn't really hit anything in Broly Storm either, unless you play like Preface or something.
Yeah. So like going forward, I'd say if you want to play to a mid late game and you're scared of aggro, you play the FR Goku, Striving Goku, just because nobody has good ways to offensively untap energy.
Right.
Like Bean. So it's like Borgos, like they printed this card, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be, you know, help you against Storm. Literally before it even comes out, I think it's like, yeah, no, this card's gonna be useless now because nobody's gonna be untapping energy on their turn as much.
There's also what is it? Encroaching Darkness Demigra, that new promo card from the Colossal Warfare Sealed Tournament thing that stops 10k or lowers from attacking. And we never got to play that card either, which would have potentially been a good answer to Storm. You'd have to be playing like a Burst Leader or something. Some other way to turbo cards into the drop on the first turn and then play it for free. But like at least there was a chance that it might have done something. Instead, I feel like the hits were a little bit preemptive. I think they could have gotten a little more data. Unless they were testing those new cards and saw they were doing nothing. And then I can understand the hits. But the hits did feel early. That's all.
Right. Posing my Banlist video, was it they're either testing ahead of time, which is a great thing for the game in my opinion, or they were just pandering to the community. But I don't know, maybe after this event I might lean a little bit more towards they were randomly testing, which is really good. Which is really good. So Cam, thoughts on Borgos versus Striving?
Borgos is trash. Striving is probably a really well designed card. I'm gonna look at this as now it's like, oh, we didn't get a chance to, you know, test with Storm. At least Storm's done. They've made a decision. It's gone. I'm looking at it now. Borgos is basically a one drop that blue decks have to go, sure, I have a 5k combo on board. Like, really. Striving to be the best Goku is an awesome card that is designed because while it presents a wall to decks such as Yamcha, which gains so much value off of everybody's POW, and decks such as Pan, which can utilize it, and other 2-drops such as what is it, the Dynasty Goku, the 2-drop that can swap, any of those 2-drops, it stops that, and that's what it should do. Blue wants to go, hey, I want to build up a board, or I want to build up card advantage, I want to build up energy advantage, I want to manipulate it, and then go, okay, now I've been able to stall enough, you got rid of it, but I'm still at an advantage. But you have cards that get around it. You have cards that can, like, Frieza binding his time, cards that negate barrier, cards that can get around that as such. So it's not unbeatable, but it's still a great wall for blue to have in order to just build up its defenses, which I think that's the color it revolves around. That's the play style.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think it falls in line with Blue's playstyle, stall, defensive, ramp, stuff like that. I won't say I like the design of it because I'm not a fan of floodgates. Coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm really not a fan of floodgates, and it kind of does floodgate out certain strategies. But Mark, I hope that answered your question, talking about Goku versus Borgos as an answer. Stan, they hit Goten because it's free. Hitting Bardock would be hitting a Judge promo or an SR. But rip event pack Gotens for sure. All right. So there's a magic
Yielding
comment.
was a Judge promo.
That's true. That is true.
They also could have left both those cards at 1 because they're actually searchable in their own archetypes. Like you can Giro search for that cell, and then like there's Mighty Mask can search out Unyielding Trunks.
You mean the Scry 3? Because you can't search it with the 2-drop, I don't believe, right?
I think I said Giro, right? Dr. Giro?
Yeah, the one
Android. Yeah, the 1-drop. The 2-drop is Android 20. Completely different cards, by the way.
Sorry, I called the same thing.
It's okay.
I heard a magic comment.
Yeah, you want to talk? I mean, I don't think any of us around here know what this guy's talking about except for you, Cam. So why don't you talk about that? You see what comment?
Yeah, it's Haven Curtis. Yes, before they got rid of these cards, reminds me of Urgasile constructed in Magic. We was killing everyone on turn 2 or 3, and then they. Oh yeah. So Urza's Saga was notorious in Magic for being able to cast certain spells, creatures, which would have the clause. Okay, this is a 4-drop card. Not 3, 4. This is a 4-drop card. You pay 4 to play it. All right, it's resolved. All right, untap that 4 mana.
Sounds like Haru Haru.
Exactly. Imagine a whole block filled with the Haru Haru clause.
Oh God.
But cards that are busted as shit. Sorry, whatever. But
that's okay.
So, for example, there was a card called Rewind. Rewind was 4-drop, 2 blue, 2 colorless that goes counter target spell. If it's counter target spell, untap 4 lands. That's in that time. That's essentially a free counter spell. Peregrine Drake is a 5-cost Drake, 5-cost creature that goes. All right, I'm a 2/3 with flying. Back in Urza Saga, flying evasion was huge, and a 2/3 with flying could easily put you down from when you're at 20 life. So when you pay 5 mana to cast it, and then it goes, oh, by the way, when it comes into play, untap 5 mana. That's what I can understand where he's coming at. It's insane. And so what happened is that Wizards was like, oh, this is bad. We're getting all this outcry. Banhammered it. Crap ton of stuff.
Yeah. If they never printed a Haru Haru again, I'd be totally fine with that. Haru Haru honestly is pretty ban worthy. It makes it really hard to play. Any green or yellow leader that doesn't have access to Bloodlust, well, all the green leaders now technically have access to Preemptive Strike, which is really good.
Hooray!
But,
I don't think Haru Haru is ban worthy. It's one of those. How much do you see Haru Haru?
Bro,
pretty much all side decks play 3 for the most part.
I mean, so the thing is that if you look at Atlantic City, the only thing I saw about Haru Haru was Janemba players bringing it in against Janemba players.
Yeah, because they wanted to set out all their fake super combos. That was pretty hilarious.
Yep. But to me,
if it draws, it's bad.
It's true. It really is.
To me, Haru Haru is just. I think the card doesn't do anything. It doesn't have a good effect when you play it because it makes you mill 2. Okay,
it's optional. It's optional. It's up to 2.
Yeah, mill 2 is optional.
Sorry, not to knock you off your train of thought.
No, it's fine. I'd rather have it correct, but still, Haru Haru to me is just not a powerhouse of a card. With how the game is, it's not like Magic where you can sling multiple spells a turn, untap, and keep going to a Storm-like effect. If that was the case with Haru Haru, I think Storm would play it at 110%, but I never saw it in any list that topped early.
Bro, you haven't seen it in my spicy mono black Demigra deck, specifically when it's playing against yellow or green leaders.
When you turn 1, Dweller someone. For all my Yu-Gi-Oh players in the chat.
OP.
All right, so let's get on to the next comment. This is actually a good question. What's your guys' opinion on Janemba and Gogeta? New meta is Fusion Reborn meta. So we saw top 16. We saw 3 Hurugard in top cut, 5 Shenron, 4 Janemba, 2 Red Frieza, 1 Broly, 1 Gogeta movie promo. I think that's right off the top of my head. And I think that top cut split will probably remain the same. I think that Hurugard might get phased out. We might see maybe some mono blue get in the top cut. I think Broly honestly will become one of the new aggro leaders. I will say Broly Storm / Broly Lineage is still very strong, guys. Don't sleep on that deck. But I think that we'll have a pretty balanced format between aggro, mid-range, and mill, I guess, if you want to call mill, turtle or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be split down the middle or anything like that. But I think they're gonna be very strong presences in the meta. But Larry, what do you think about that?
Shenron Gogeta. I mean, that's the most viable Gogeta variant, and I mean, I think I found the counterplay to it while we were on our drive to AC. So, I think when you made that YouTube video about Gogeta, you were just so triggered from.
Can't say triggered.
Joey triggered? No.
Triggers me.
No.
Sorry. Yeah. Like we were talking about this on our way down to Atlantic City. It's like, was Kevin, one of our local players, having such success with it because we were playing best of one at our locals?
Right.
Or is it a deck that just has one linear game plan that if you're playing best of 2 out of 3, you can side deck a lot of cards for? And that's when, we figured, I texted you, the Thursday or Friday that we were about to go to Atlantic City. I'm like, Shenron Gogeta, not a problem anymore. You just side deck these 4 cards. And it's like, I think it, I told Bowser about it when he was off on his West Coast tournament. I'm like, it just automatically just turns the game on its head. You are not on a clock to win by turn 5 or lose.
Wait, which card?
It's forced ejection.
Marcel Russell got top 16 and he didn't play a single objection in his deck, right?
I don't know, actually. I didn't look at his deck list.
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Did the same thing.
Yeah, because they're all scared of Dende coming in.
Yeah, that Dende loop in the mirror match is serious.
Yeah, so the Dende loop in the mirror match is very, very devastating. That's why you don't play objection, because you can get Dende loop. But the forced ejection plays around not.
Wait.
Because.
Where is it?
Larry, you're only talking to 25 people. You might as well talk about the play.
Oh my god, it's a very, very convoluted play where it's like
you have to skip 2 charge phases to do it.
But
it's OP.
You opt to go second.
Oh.
So you go second. If you choose to go first, if you get choice after sideboarding, you go second. They charge, you charge. They charge, you charge. They charge to 3. You skip 2 to 3. So then they go to 4, and then you charge from 2 to 3 again. You hardcast the first one, warp an energy, and then you overwhelm the second one, warp another energy. So you reverse objection them. Because they're stuck on 2 energies, and then you're on 3. So then they get set back to turn 2. And then it's like you have 2 turns where you're on 4 or 5 energies. You should be able to kill them or put enough pressure on that Gogeta doesn't do anything.
Larry did the math out. I think he said you swing for 18 damage. Is that right?
How the
18,
what?
It was 18 damage between 2 turns with Harudegarn, because you'd go digging deep, swing 1. You'd have force ejection, leader. That's on 1 turn. The next turn's digging deep, swinging with basically dual attack, because you have 4 energy at this point. Mass Saiyan, force ejection, leader. And then the next turn after that, you hit your huge tempo turn, because then you self-awaken off the 1 digging deep that's still on board. So then if you drop a second digging deep, it's 2 dual attackers, force ejection that still isn't answer jet, because Shenron doesn't really play answers to it, and they're only on 4 energy. Your leader, your energy play, which could be then a hit, and then if you have unyieldings or anything else, you drop a Fu on top. And it's just 2 double strikes, 2 dual attacks, force ejection, leader on that 1 turn.
I didn't write it down, but that sounds like 18 damage to me, and that is my my closest testing buddy. Everyone, that's what I test with. All right.
Well, you tell the chat to come out with a pen and paper.
If you wanted that play, you should have wrote it down. But all right, we'll follow down the list of comments here. So, Jordan Markle, they didn't even let Goku or Borgos try is my issue. You banned Flute and Unyielding, plus these answers, the deck isn't fast enough in my opinion. You played Storm, Jordan, at AC, I think you had some good success with it. So, even in the face of Goku and Borgos, I think we could say Hurrigan Storm with 4 Unyielding and 4 Being is still a very good deck. I think these hits do obviously make it much slower. I think it makes it more fair. But like I said, if anything is playing the Bardock swap engine, you have a very favorable Shenron matchup. I don't care if you're just swapping into Videls and dependable Gokus, you have a very favorable Shenron matchup. I'll say that just from my testing and whatnot. Stan, I think the fact that you make striving and then ban Goten's a big problem. I don't know, debatable. I think striving still be a very good card against Bardock's swap line. And one more comment before we get back into the roundtable. Yeah, being forced to run 8 cards in every deck just to stop Storm sounds like a healthy format. I mean, we're kind of just talking about Borgos kind of being like a non-factor almost. I mean, it does do something. They have to play around it, but they can easily pop it. I think striving is more of the better answer.
I think that might have been a sarcastic comment.
Yeah, no, of course it's sarcastic. Like,
okay.
You know, no one wants to run 8 cards just to stop Storm for sure. But yeah, I don't think Borgos was, you know, super duper necessary, but striving was very good. Yeah. So
we got another
Go
question from the chat. Any tips on Shenron Broly? You got a list you guys been testing around with since you posted that one forever ago?
Forever ago? You mean last week?
Last week? Was it last week? No.
Wait, you said Shenron Broly?
Shenron Broly.
Oh, the green Broly. Oh,
I think
okay,
so.
Okay. Is that, I'm trying to look for the comment right
Sorry,
now.
I just derailed everything. It's towards the bottom. Maybe you guys don't see it because I'm looking at live chat. Or
No,
yeah.
I see. I was looking at like earlier chat. Okay, yeah. So Shenron Broly, that's what we're talking about. No, I mean, I honestly haven't been testing it super duper lately. I think the more typical Shenron hand control builds with the 3 1-star balls and like Super 17, I think that's become the more mainstream version of Shenron hand control. Because Shenron Broly, while it is very strong and you have some pretty crazy plays, it's a very slow deck. You have to wait till turn 6 before you can free wish out your big boy. Not that that's like the main play of the deck or anything, but I think it got a little bit slower because of that. But yeah, unfortunately, don't have any updated builds for that, but you can check out the build on the channel. I don't know if anyone else wants to touch on Shenron hand control as a topic of conversation.
Oh baby, give me that mic.
Go for it, Cam.
Oh no.
I love that deck. I love Shenron hand control. I think it is a great archetype in reason because you really don't have. Oh, it's like hand control is just such a fun concept. It may be just because I'm maniacal and I hate other people playing the game when I want to play, but like there's the 1-star ball into being able to combo out of small things. So they're swinging with leader. I don't want to take damage. Hit a 5k. What's that 5k? A Dark Duo Dabura or a Super 17. All right, cool. It's in your drop because that's where you want it to be. You're not hard casting a Super 17 in hand control. You want to bring it back to the world piece. And then you have Quick Thinking Gotenks, which I think that card in that deck is just pure gas because it obviously is hitting for 15k crit, which is a form of hand control. You're not letting the cards in their life go back to their hand, and then, it's letting you draw a card off of its auto. That card is, in my opinion, one of the best early game in that deck. Right now, I think that to make that deck really good, because I've been testing different variants, is the Android Blocker. He's wicked good in that deck. And I think main decking, I think that Crisis Crusher comes out of that deck. Because I don't think the card does as much as you want when you have Striving Goku. I think if you're going to play 3, if you think in yourself, I need to play 3 Crisis Crusher, you need to look at yourself and say, okay, I can just replace it with Goku. Goku just offers much more for it offers a lot more when you look at the grand scheme of everything. And then I think the finisher in that deck is At All Costs or the Demigras, Beyond Darkness Demigras.
Yeah, I'll counter that with one thing. Crisis Crusher, so I have a version of hand control I'm working on for post Clash of Fates. I'll probably be bringing it to the channel pretty soon because I think it's a very interesting build. But what I'll say is I think Crisis, I still play Crisis Crusher and Striving in the main deck because I want Crisis on 1 to prevent Kabba's Intensifying Power Trunkses, because against Shenron decks that don't have Crisis, those Intensifying Power Trunkses, those Kabbas, those new 5 Power Son Gohans, those things can live for like 3 turns before you can answer them, and those will kill you over the course of a game if they live for 3 turns.
Yeah.
That, and I want to be able to pop Black Mass Hands, because those actually hurt Shadow Hand Control a good deal, because you are a pretty Child's Wish reliant deck. But yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I want Crisis on 1, Striving on 2 if I'm playing against anything that's more aggressive. But I like Shadow Hand Control too, because I think it's a bit more fair of a hand control deck, maybe more fair than like Shenron Gogeta or Cell Chain, because any deck that can plus hard enough doesn't care about Shenron hand control, right? Like, I was testing my deck with Larry's Krillin deck, for example. Krillin pluses 2 every turn. Shenron hand control might neg the opponent 2 or 3 every turn, so it's not a big differential. But against other mid-range decks, like for example, Janemba just winning an event, I think Shenron hand control is a great pick to go into the next format with, because you counter Janemba pretty hard, because they don't plus very hard. So I think it's a very good counter meta pick, but I do think it's a bit more of a fair hand control pick, which I'm pretty cool with. We're gonna give some love to the CrossWorld TCG Discord. They're asking some questions in the Discord. If you guys have not joined that Discord yet, definitely check it out. It's in the description of all of our YouTube videos, and Logan might be able to drop that in the description of this stream.
Yeah, I just realized it's not there right now. Whoops.
So we'll get a quick request. Can we get a deck list or a deck review of the Wish Han Trunks deck? That will be up on the channel soon. I can promise you that. Logan, I know, wants to get that deck up on the channel. And
I think it needs to be tested a little more first, but it'll be up here eventually.
Yeah, a little more testing. We kind of just put together a couple nights ago. How will the new Broly leader affect the metagame? I'm excited to talk about this. The new Broly leader, I'm in love with that leader. Let me tell you why. There's been 3 decks in this game that I have like been over the top in love with playing. That was Blue Green Soul Striker Goku, Kid Goku Green Yellow Veggies back in set 3 once Mecha got added. Logan can talk about that, or can attest to that. Yeah. And Broly lineage. I've been having so much fun playing this deck, because I think it's really cool how this leader brought yellow kind of back into the meta game, because you know we had a decent amount of blue. I mean, well, a decent amount of blue. The meta was blue. Then we had a decent amount of green, is what I meant to say, with like Cell Chain and androids. Red had its era of like Hercule, a little bit like Yamcha top Nats, but red was kind of a underlier. But yellow was like nowhere to be found outside of Victory Strike. And like that, I wouldn't even call that a yellow archetype, because that deck's essentially colorless. The best leader happens to be yellow. But I'm really happy that Broly has brought yellow back into the scene, and Shugesh on top of that. Like, I got Chronoa'd every single game 2 and 3 almost, except for like 1 round at AC, and I was still able to win most of my games, which I thought was really cool. I only played a 2-2 split on Shugesh and another super combo, because I'm a coward. But I was very happy with how the deck played, and I'm really happy. That leader is just so good. It's so value. Really happy about that. So let's hand it off to Logan here. What do you think about the Broly leader in the metagame?
Yo, this Broly leader is sick, dude. Honestly, like, it's Shenron light for all the people who don't want to play Shenron anymore, because he basically does the same thing, but he's a little more aggressive. So Shenron brought a lot of life to those older decks that, you know, wanted to be turn 5-6. But this Broly leader is really cool for all these decks that want to win turns 3-4. So it brings a nice balance. He definitely is a good matchup for the Shenron lead, because he rivals the amount of card advantage that he puts on early on. I don't think many people are main decking Shugesh game 1, because it's not relevant in most, or not Shugesh, I'm sorry, Time Control Konoha. Yeah, and so you might be able to get some Shugeshes off game 1, but even if you play a list with no Shugesh, the ability to untap either energy, untap a battle card, or untap your leader card to swing again is just pretty insane value if you think about it. And there's like no way that the leader would actually be bad, I think. I think that's the style of leader they're going to go for going forward, because he's very much like that, what is he? The baby Vegeta leader, but with a stronger backside.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, absolutely. Cam, thoughts on the Broly leader? Seeing it from the judge perspective in AC for like the first event was legal. What'd you think about it?
I think, now this is what I find amazing. So I was able to pull it up, and you were the only Broly deck in top 32.
Didn't one Broly?
Yeah, he got to top 4 from PPG.
One Broly got to top 16. Yeah.
No, it wasn't, because I'm looking at what they put up in the PPG Pro Tour, like their Facebook, and it says that there was only one Broly leader in top 32. I could find it for the, but so anywho, it still is. Yeah, Broly made top 16.
Justin Rios got top 4 with it.
Yeah, Justin Rios in top
so
4.
They didn't include Joey.
Nobody cared about Joe.
Yes, but
Cry.
still, the fact. So Broly in itself. Oh, this card is awesome. So I'll give a little predecessor of when I saw Krillin come out, Stormfist Krillin. I loved it. I was like, I need to build this card right now because I am a huge fan of the Self Awakening because drawing a card and taking a card from life. It's one, Self Awaken, which is awesome with any leader, and 2, you're plussing 2 on a leader swing. I think that's insanely powerful. And then you have the backside, which I'm glad a lot of people were trying to argue me saying, oh, he's so strong, he should get around barrier with his abilities on the backside. I'm like, no,
that'd be insane.
That'd be insane. But it's like, it's just such an awesome card, and it brings back the fact that you could play Shugesh and Bloodlust in the same deck, and that just makes me feel so great. I'm just gonna love it so much. Yeah, last night I was playing Hand Control versus Broly, and was it Broly? Yeah, it was Broly, and I go in for it. I was trying to kill him with a Super 17 with crit on triple attack, and I did not guess the Shugesh, and I got Shugesh Kid Goku and completely lost and got blown out. And because I was so tilted, and and it just makes me want to get the card even more because I want to. I have once the new promo card comes out, the lineage, the Sparking 7 lineage.
The swap.
The 3-drop, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think lineage can be a powerful archetype with that Broly leader. I think what you had going is kind of starting to get the cogs turning in a lot of people's heads.
It's so hard to get the Sparking 7 for him in Broly, though. Like, you have to turbo through your cards pretty hard.
Or you can do what I want to do and play Shenron Swap.
Shenron Swap's definitely going to be a good place for that new promo card for sure. Because I mean,
7 Dragon Balls.
Yeah, that Sparking 7's automatic.
Got him, boys.
Immediate.
Yeah, it sucks you have to world piece it out instead of Child's Wishing it, though. But it'd be pretty crazy. It'd be pretty crazy if you could Child's Wish a card that says swap into a card that wins you the game. You'd have some pretty insane turn 2 plays.
That 19K did a good balancing job for sure. But Shenron deck's definitely gonna be where that card shines. I don't know, maybe something where Broly will pop up. I think you'd have to play some weird cards, like either some weird burst cards or that Geen that mills 3 off top of your deck. I don't know if it'd be great, but Larry, I know you love the Broly leader, so why don't you talk about that a little bit? Talk about your crazy theories with that leader.
I mean, yeah, it's good to have a good yellow leader coming back. I mean, U7 was one thing, but it's like, me and you went down this list, I think, when we were driving down to Atlantic City the first time, not this past time, when we were like, there's 5 playable Bloodlust leaders out of 100 and something leaders. That is garbage. That, like, yeah, it's a really good card, but yeah, there's really broken effects in this game. Like, oh, let me chain Zeno you, and since you're not playing outdated leader, this is resolving no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, the fact that they brought back these new leaders with Bloodlust between the Red Frieza, which is interesting. And then this Broly, which is just pure advantage and pure pressure, because it's like, okay, it's gonna change the meta quite a lot. Like, let me generate a lot of advantage on the front side and then drop whatever double striker I want. Could be Fu, could be the Bardock for what, Force of Will, Force of Iron, whatever, the monkey. Sorry,
we don't talk about that here.
Sorry.
We've talked about Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh. Why can't we talk about other games? Yeah, that's the weeb game.
Like, let me restand a double striker or restand a 3-drop lineage Bardock that says swing, draw a card, and gain double strike. Like,
let me restand my UI Goku that you can't combo out of, and I'll hit you for
right.
triple strike.
There are it makes a lot of interesting things, and that's why I like it. Like,
It's Shenron.
what was it? It is, but it's no, I don't know. It's like
Slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fair. There's no 10k bump. There's no triple attack. You have to self-harm.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more fair.
Like, it's not on turn 5. RNG, did you draw 3 good cards, or you lose this game?
OP,
It's-
dude.
Right.
You
Right.
gotta
Yeah,
get good.
Sure, you can play Gogeta in the deck, but yeah, like that sparking is hard to get.
But then it's also like, what is it? The new ones, like, it just makes so many things viable with it, and a lot of people are all over the place. You could be like, you have the lineage deck that you're playing, you have the storm deck that people are playing, you have the Brawly GT deck.
Yep.
That was like win on turn 2 because you dropped triple flash. The last time people were playing triple flash, Shenron got it neutered, and it has to say Red Sand Leaders, and they're like, let me just restand a triple strike 35k on turn 2. Why not?
OP.
What, Dominguez today played you in the finals of our locals with Brawly Veggies.
Yep. Brawly veggies.
Out.
Ooh, how was?
Pavas.
Wait, I profiled it. Never mind. How was that deck? How did he run a similar
He
list?
actually played. He only played green yellow. That's what he didn't play the red.
Aw.
He wanted to play a more
What?
control-y build. He wanted to play a more control-y build. We actually both bricked. We played best of 1 local, so we only had 1 game. We both bricked. He didn't see Kaba on turn 2, and I didn't see Bardock on turn 1. So basically, it came back to my turn 3 because I went first, where I finally saw Bardock, and I was able to just go in and kill him.
What did you play?
Made sure. I played my Broly Storm lineage deck.
Oh.
Post Banlist, by the way. I played a post Banlist, so no Gotens. But
I think that deck's fine without Gotons.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. It's actually really interesting. I want to talk about this. So Broly Storm, or like Lineage, the version I played, I still played Bardock Goten. So like when I talk about my own deck, like Storm Lineage is kind of interchangeable. But playing against Janemba is very difficult because they're super turtly, and I don't have good combos to pump into a Goten and damage an Awakened Leader. I don't have like Untapping Trunkses or Sensu Beans, anything like that. So it was kind of weird, but I played against Janemba today in tournament, and it was actually much easier post ban list. And I think it was because I was forced to play dependable Goku, as weird as that sounds, because he's always a 15k swinger. So like a Sensu Bean on their Unawakened Leader doesn't just negate my dependable, which is really cool actually. And I draw through less of my deck. Believe it or not, as weird as it sounds, I think that post ban list Broly Storm is actually better against Janemba. But that was just 1 game. But that was just what I picked up from that 1 game. But I want to get back to chat a little bit. Jordan Markle, thank you for the note. PBG said they messed up on their top 32 chart. So I guess there should have been 2 Brolys in that top 32 chart. Let's jump over to the Discord chat real quick. Ashton Bowser wants to know Vegas first place predictions. That's actually really interesting. That could kind of segue us into our next discussion topic, which is basically the expected meta of post ban list format. So I'll start this one off. My Broly Lineage deck is going to win Vegas. No, I'm just kidding. But I will.
Yeah, we'll be playing though.
Bullshit.
I will be at Vegas, guys. So if you are there, come say what's up. Come to let me know how you like the channel, things like that. But yeah, I will be there. I mean, so coming off of the AC event, Janemba is kind of the deck to beat. Although I do think that Shenron is still one of the strongest decks of the format. Shenron Gogeta specifically. I will say, don't sleep on Storm. People kind of thought that players were going to sleep on Storm going into AC because of like Borgos and Striving. But Storm still had a decent showing. I think more people will actually sleep on Storm now. Now the fact that Unyielding and Goten are gone, which like I don't blame anyone for sleeping on Storm, but I will say keep it in your testing gauntlet. Make sure your side deck's prepped for it, because some Bardock Goten swap decks will make top cut and they will be very strong, for sure. So I mean, I'll pass this one off to Cam. What do you think about Vegas top cut predictions?
I think that you're gonna see Janemba win the event again. I think Janemba's gonna go back to back.
Really?
Yeah. Reason being is that Janemba, until we get the cards coming out of that Colossal Warfare expansion, I think Janemba kind of just is the powerhouse deck. It is such a good turtle deck that can stop Shenron Gogeta.
Yeah.
And because if Shenron Gogeta is churning through a lot of their a lot of their cards. Yeah, and and Shenron Gogeta rips its matchups apart. If you're trying to play Mono Blue Hirudegarn, Shenron Gogeta will mess you up.
Right.
Because Mono Blue Hirudegarn is like trying to play Janemba, but you're just trying to get to your own Gogeta, and it's like not really doing much. But I think Shenron is also very prevalent. Both I think Shenron Veggies and Shenron Gogeta will be in. I don't think Shenron Veggie will make Top Cut, but I know Shenron Gogeta will. 7-drop Gogeta is just too good of a card.
So, speaking on that a little bit, we actually do get those promos here in a few days. They're tournament legal on the 1st of February. Is that
wait, the
Colossal Warfare stuff?
Oh.
Yeah. Here, I can pull it up right now.
Yeah,
throw it up on screen.
I thought it was.
Well, it says it on.
No. If that's the case, then I still. Okay, so then you have to go to stores that are running the events. I think that's what it is. But that I still think Janemba is gonna take. I just think Janemba is such a good. It's a good, well-constructed deck. It's not too powerful, and it's not. It has its bad matchups. It's not like an 80-20 or a 70-30. It's like a 60-40 or a 55-45. The bad matchups aren't that bad.
Right.
Shenron Gogeta, as I said, I think a deck that's going to completely shine people is Mono Red Pan. Dashi played it in Atlantic City, and he played it in Hartford, with the only blue cards being Zeno. That I think Mono Red Pan is great as just your stereotypical mid-range hand reset deck. And plus how Pan creates so much card advantage off of just her in itself. I think that deck's going to do fairly well. And Broly, obviously. Broly's going to do very well. And then I think the boogeyman to Janemba is going to be Shenron Hand Control. Shenron it will rip apart Janemba. That's like the one bad matchup that starts to become 70-30 or a little less, because Shenron Hand Control just starts nitpicking at the little things. Because Janemba thrives on, I'll take this life, or I want to awaken very, very late to get that power turn. But Shenron Hand Control is trying to negate all that advantage through crit. And then the leader that I think is going to, with the new Colossal Warfare cards coming in, I think Vegeta Baby is gonna show some promise. Because the Vegeta Baby is one of those sleeper leaders. Because how many times have you seen people get caught off guard by a Revenge Deathball?
That card's really
all
good.
The time. It's basically Shugesh Kid Goku.
Exactly.
After we hadn't had that forever.
I think the Vegeta Baby is going to be a fantastic leader. It's going to be a sleeper. It's not going to be the best, but it's going to be one of those. It's going to be really, really annoying because it's going to be that little kid when you were in class and he was the one flicking spitballs at the back of your head and he was never getting caught. And then I think the Frieza swap is going to be it's an insane deck. So I know you said don't recap, but I'm gonna recap. Janemba, Shenron, Vegeta, Shenron Hand Control, Broly, Pan, Frieza, and Baby Vegeta.
Yeah, I mean, those are all very realistic picks in my opinion, and that's really cool. I mean, I think the format's in a good place where all those decks can make top cut. I think that's a pretty healthy metagame, and I definitely can expect all those decks to get up to that point. One thing I was surprised it didn't really top AC, and I think might make a good comeback in Vegas will be Android, specifically Cell Chain. Now, don't crucify me in the chat yet because I know that 3-drop is going to be down to 1 for this event, but especially against Janemba, where turn 5 is a very realistic turn to make it to. Your turn 5 Cell Chain can really turn the game in your favor as the Cell Chain player against Janemba if Janemba's the deck to beat. But I will say it will be a very uphill battle against Shenron for that deck, and it will be a very uphill battle against Storm or aggro decks in general for that deck. So I don't know. Let's talk about this for a second. What do we think about the future of androids with the Cell Chain being pushed back to turn 5 play? Because there are still turn 5 drop your hand to 0 plays, but the deck is obviously made pretty much 2 turns slower. So kick it off to Logan. What do you think about the future of Cell Chain?
We need a new cell leader for Cell Chain to be broken. I'm so excited for new cards. I don't even want to think about like this current stuff. Like if I end up being able to take a card with me to Vegas, it's still up in the air. We'll figure it out, I'm sure. But I'll probably just play some random jank. Like pick something random that's not meta and play it. Or try to brew something with this new Broly lead that I haven't seen before. Or like a deck that I haven't seen before with the Broly lead. Because that dude, I love the leader. It's just so great. I can't wait until we get more leaders like that.
Logan, is that you? Is that you, Mr. Always Plays Meta?
Yeah, I don't have time to play meta, dude. I go to school full time. I got like clubs and projects that I'm a part of. I'm in a process to get a job right now. Like I really don't have time to be testing.
He's
like
becoming an adult.
Oh my god, I know. I'll probably still be able to stream because like that's cool. But I don't have the 20 hours plus a week to test for like competitive events anymore. Like it's just not in the cards. So I might as well play something wacky that'll trip people up, you know?
Yeah, no, this game is like, you can punish people for not knowing what your cards do in this game a lot. That's actually not even a terrible pick. But Larry, we'll bounce it to you. What do you think about the future of Cell Chain in Dragon Ball Super?
That's gonna be a rough one. So this just becomes all hypothetical because if Shenron Gogeta is the power pick for next format, right? Because everything's slower. And it's the expected thing. You need too many cards in hand to do the turn 5 play. So then it becomes a coin flip of, did I go first or did I go second? If they hit turn 5 before me and Gogeta me, I don't have the cards to do the Cell Chain. Like, basically, so it gets into a really, really weird, like, RNG is like, okay, if I'm playing against Shenron Gogeta, I have to make it the 5 to Cell Chain.
You could do it on turn 3 with Cell's Birth.
Yeah, so then you have to play Cell. Like,
I thought you loved that leader though.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, but no.
Well, the thing too is
his front side is so bad.
The thing too is it doesn't matter who goes first because they play objection, so they'll just get there before you either way.
Bro, but then you, what's it called? What's the mass saying?
Then you do the goofy play.
Yeah.
So then, like, so that's the thing. Like, it gets really, really weird and toss up, even on game 1. So it's like, you need the hand to do it, except for, are you gonna have enough of a hand to do it? And then, like, even if you do have the hand, say you're playing against other matchups, I think the best deck next format is gonna be some mid-range deck that nobody has figured out yet, or is expecting to be such a prevalent choice. That's just my thing. That can, like, still pull advantage. But the thing is, like, if they're expecting you to chain them on 5, and turn 4 is a good enough turn for people to drop threats on. Like, you're looking at like double strikers that are coming in like hit, or like 2 swingers, or a lot of like overrun plays or whatever, right? Because you should be set up by then. Yeah. Unless you're playing Shenron. That means it's like, okay, swing hit. If I expect to get chained, I can still go down to like 7 cards in hand. The chain's not going to be as bad if I get hit by the Cell Chain, but my hit is going to force this 2 damage through. So it's like, it allows for really tall threatening swingers if they're playing around Cell Chain on 5. And like, I don't think that Cell has enough protection to stop all that.
No,
I can see that.
He's a draw leader with no self-awaken, a front side that doesn't plus. Like,
yeah,
his front side really holds it back a lot. Like, it's
real, no, really I know. Bad. When I was playing the deck, it was like I got to turn 6 consistently, and I'm like, I had 12 in hand. I'm like, wow, I don't have a good win con. Swing with Dragon Fist, lose the game.
Easy, dude. My win con is to scoop on turn 7.
Can I get a feels bad in the chat for Larry, please?
No.
Yeah, like I said, I think it'd be a good matchup for Tempo, but I think against Gogeta and aggro decks, I think Cell will have a really miserable time. But we actually got a really interesting question in the chat. Maybe Logan could pull up the image of it. How do you feel about Godstrike Beerus? So for anyone that doesn't remember, Godstrike Beerus is a new card coming out set 6 that costs 2 energy during a combo. Logan, you gonna be able to pull that up?
Yeah, I don't have it like on command. I'll pull it up in a second. You keep talking about it. Yeah.
Kitchen table meta?
1000%, dude. We're more scuffed than kitchen table.
Godstrike Beerus is a 3-drop green. Costs 2 energy for a 10k combo. When you combo this card, choose one of the keyword skills on one of your opponent's battle cards and negate it for the duration of the turn. So this is like a really... This card's pretty weird, and I say that because it's a peel off essentially. It removes a keyword skill, but it does it during the combo step. So, you know, you can go in on your Scientist Foo, you know, like let's say for game, your opponent's 2 life. You go on 100k Scientist Foo. If your opponent has access to Bean, and, you know, if they have this card in hand, you lose Double Strike, you probably lose the game. So, really weird, really weird card, really good card. For that reason, it's almost like getting Shugesh Kid Goku. You're going for game attack, almost gets like invalidated. But I will say it does seem like a clunkier card because you know, you're not always gonna have that sense of being to untap the energy, especially if you had to use it, you know, earlier in the game or anything like that. So really good card. Gonna be kind of annoying to play into, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about this card a little bit. Let's go to Cam. Talk about Godstrike Beerus as a card in the game.
I think, so just in general, I think the peel-off effect is a great mechanic for this game. Reason being is that giving the opportunity to manipulate or kind of bluff your opponent to go in on certain plays only to have that type of response is what I think the game truly kind of relies on. Since the game kind of plays very few turns, between 4 and 6 turns, it's kind of, I like it. It's kind of necessary to me because having those effects is like, oh, problematic, crit, swap, double strike. It's like, oh, I'm gonna put all this in. It's like, all right, you're not in the game. I'm just gonna take away this keyword, and I'm gonna just be able to kind of continue with my play. It's like, which is why I believe that green blue is gonna make a comeback, and I think green blue is gonna make a comeback in the form of the cell leader himself. Ooh. Yeah, and I want to touch back basically on the cell chain theory. I think that cell chain becomes popular again because you play the cell leader, you play Godstrike Beerus, you have more access to blue, because if we're going to be getting blue Android support, which I think we will, in the next set is going to be huge, because then you also get access to Cell's Birth, which makes the 5 drop to a 3. I think and the fact that the cell itself is a very powerful leader, and then obviously go back if you don't want to play cell, you play Super 17 and play the Super 17 chain, but that's where Godstrike Beerus flies, is in any green blue shell, and most likely in green blue cell. That's immediately the first thought that came to my head.
Interesting. Gives Cell Chain a little bit of a leg up.
Yeah, but think about it. Like they even said, we're putting the 3 drop to 1 because they wanted to. Because they basically said we want to make more cards that have Android support, but we couldn't do it since this was basically the end-all be-all of the actual chain. It's like, all right, now we have the 3, go to the 5, go to the 7, turn 3, you have 3 cards in hand. Have a good day. But if they put it to 1, which obviously manipulates the RNG, which makes it less, and then I think we're going to see amazing support. I'm amped. I'm ready for this.
I'm concerned that it's just going to be a blue Android 13 leader that you can't play Cell's Birth in, and we're still going to have this awkward Cell chain that we can't play in like any leads outside of Cell. That's my biggest concern, because like looking at the art for Destroyer Kings, it's this boy here in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do.
I just have hope, man. I'm like one of those people that, like, the mothership knows all. I have to say, you know what's best, please don't.
Please.
It's pretty weird. It is pretty weird how there's Janemba 13 and Slug on the set, you know, art, but we haven't seen any cards for those archetypes yet, right?
We have for Slug. We got a bunch of new Slug's army cards.
Oh, those are all in green, right?
Yeah.
I think in blue we get more Janemba support, and I think we're gonna get some really good.
Right here.
It's gonna be pseudo Janemba support, and Janemba's just gonna get gassed right up the wazoo.
Oh, yeah. I hope it's all like 5 drops though, not any.
No, I think what's probably gonna happen is that Bandai's, hey, Janemba's a great deck, but they don't have anything. Play that on 4. Guess what? We're giving you something in the early game.
Oh no.
I just want to do that so when I buy the Janemba deck, I buy in.
Yeah.
Larry, were you going to talking about Godstrike Beerus?
So the one thing I want to point out about Godstrike is, one, I don't think it's good because it's 2 energy, but that's my personal opinion on it. In its text, it actually doesn't say you have to choose the attacking battle card, I believe.
Nope. It says choose up to one on your opponent's battle cards. Yeah.
So technically, you can remove a keyword skill from somebody else that's already on board.
Like a barrier blocker or something. I don't know.
Gives it some added versatility.
Yeah.
It does. I still think Pilaf is infinitely better just because of the energy cost of it. But that is something neat where you can like remove like a swap line on a somebody that's not swinging or something along those lines, right?
But Pilaf can be battering, which is.
I mean, yeah, but
if you're swinging triple attack, triple strike, crit, and your opponent goes Pilaf, call triple strike, right? I think that you're gonna battering that.
For sure. One thing that I'm kind of thinking about right now, though, that I'd actually never considered before, is that you can actually use Godstrike Beerus offensively, which is kind of insane. Like, yeah, remove blocker or remove barrier. That's actually pretty solid. It gives the card a lot of versatility. It's probably a great side deck card for that sense too, because remove problematic barrier cards, things like that.
Like striving to be the best Goku.
Well, then this is my question. Pilaf can remove barrier. Can Godstrike remove barrier?
Yeah,
for sure.
Can you read the card to me?
It's identical. When you combo this card, choose up to one of the keyword skills on one of your opponent's battle cards and negate it for the duration of the turn.
Yes, because it targets the keyword skill, not the battle card.
Okay.
Here's a good question. Here's a good question in chat that I'm going to answer real quick. Why is Hit not being played as much as he could take? Because he could take Gogeta. We actually tested that a lot in the Mighty Hurrigan deck that Larry has played for a lot, and that I played at Connecticut as well. Hit is a very good card for that purpose. It does remove the Gogeta out of the hand. However, the problem becomes if you go second, because technically Gogeta 7 does take 5 energy, but that's pretty much their turn 4 play if they hit objection, which 9 times out of 10 they're gonna hit objection. So that becomes a problem, is that Hit can be a turn too slow if you don't go first. So I wanted to answer that question for Haven Curtis real quick in the chat. And hop over to the CrossWorld chat, see what's going on in there. Out of the Shenron leaders, which one is more likely to be banned, if any, at the moment? And what do you think about the Dragon Balls? So I think clear cut, we can just say that. Yeah, I think it's clear cut. We can just say if any of the Shenron leaders are going to be banned, it's going to be the Shenron itself, the Black Shenron leader. The Dragon Balls are really cool, really well. I think they're really well designed because, like, just simple draw ones, and it's easy to get them to the graveyard. If it was really convoluted to get Dragon Balls to the drop area, the archetype wouldn't be playable, or Wish wouldn't be playable in general. So I think that's fine. But yeah, if there's any leader to get hit, I think it would be Shenron without a doubt.
So obviously, I think we're all unanimous on Shenron being the one to get hit just because of the sheer advantage it gains.
What, the starter deck one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It will never get hit.
It won't. More than likely. Maybe.
No, it'll never get hit because it's a starter deck leader.
Just errata it, lol.
I don't think that. Why would that cause it not to get hit?
Because well, people that are new getting into the game.
Exactly, because Shenron is such a quintessential character. Shenron is such a quintessential character in Dragon Ball that if some kid who's been watching the animes or been watching the dubs, and they go, "Oh, this game's out. I want to play this. Oh, Shenron, I want to play this," and then they go and be like, "I can't play the leader." That's just heartbreaking. It's like it just. Let's all be serious here. The bans and the reason why certain things aren't being banned is because, one, they want to preserve the player base, and two, they want to make money. They're a company. That's the ultimate goal of every company, is they want to make money. So if they're gonna why would you hit a starter deck leader that's gonna ultimately make them money because it's such a quintessential character?
Right, but the product is already sold. I mean, I don't know how much more in run Dragon Ball Lead is gonna be. And keeping the player base happy so you have repeat customers is important. I don't necessarily disagree or agree, but the card's good.
But
There's no denying that.
But I think it's people saying, "Oh, why didn't they ban?" And here's the thing: Jordan Markle said this, and I talked to him at Atlantic City about this. The reason why this is because they want to sell product, and I agree with that 110%. They didn't want to hit it because they wanted to sell product.
I mean, it's also just not as abusive as Storm was. Storm was crazy splashable. You know, added any deck that needed early game aggression or needed to search cards, like filter through their deck very quickly. It basically did it for free. So.
Yeah. And I know that Joey hates Shenron. No, Joey hates Gogeta with a passion, and don't deny it because I know you hate that card.
Absolutely hate it.
I think to make that card a little more fair is that hitting it with an errata that says instead. Listen, hear me out.
I hate erratas.
I know, but guess what? Magic did it. And card games do it. I think that he can be set instead of 3. Give it the Zeno effect. Put it at 5. Makes that card incredibly fair.
Draw 5 wouldn't be bad.
No, it wouldn't.
Exactly. So I think putting it from 3 to 5 is fair because it creates that Zeno is like one of those chain attack. Zeno is one of those combo cards that's like it's happened. It's part of the game. You have to understand that it's there. Gogeta is now. I'm not a fan of it because I played it. It's unfair when you go, okay, by the way, you have random cards even though you had like 1,000 in hand. If you put 5, it at least gives your opponent or it gives yourself when you're Gogeta to have a little bit of a sense that okay, maybe you can come back a little bit. You could have beats, you could have super combos, but when you put from 3 is just like no. And actually, I can see someone in the YouTube chat right now. Errata to a blue leader. I don't think errata to a blue leader. I don't think that's right. I think if you could put it from 3 to 5.
Red Saiyan leader. Lol.
Yeah, no. You don't errata something to be specific to a leader because then it just kills the card in itself. And you want to look at it from the perspective of Bandai. They want to make money, they want to sell their game, and they want to make this game profitable because right now the game is an incredible upswing. But make it from 3 to 5, the card becomes fair.
What if they limited the number, changed the mechanics of the game and limited the number of keyword skills you could put on a card? So this guy wouldn't have, like, he wouldn't be able to gain crit on top of the Shenron.
I think that'd be too convoluted, but
yeah,
have you read that card? It's got 5 keyword skills.
It's
You know?
it's the kitchen sink.
It's got 5 keyword skills, and then you add 2 more keywords.
No, wait, go
And
on.
on top of that, it has an auto.
But then you just go Pilaf, Beerus, Awaken, Beerus. You're good to go.
Wait, hold on.
Yo! Take all 7 away!
I was with you until you dropped the 5th Beerus. I was with you until you dropped the 5th Beerus.
you had me in the first half of that.
Oh man.
So-
Dude, you got 3 energy up. Shenron can't swing at you for game. Like, they just can't. You just peel off.
You
And
know
then
what?
you Beerus.
Just take all the cards and errata to say, play it with your eyes closed and rock, paper, scissors before the game starts.
Just
There's
throw
your win.
paper every time.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a bounce back to an older topic we had, but back when we were talking about, like, bringing back a relevant cold bloodless leader, I am happy that the game is leaning into more of a direction towards counterplay with, like, Predator Strike. Predator Strike's actually seriously insane, and that might actually give, androids another leg up, is that the fact they can play Predator Strike, and, cold bloodless is back in the format. So while it doesn't stop Gogeta 7, which is unfortunate, I do think that I'm really happy, with that being a thing.
So
Yeah,
let me pose this question to you guys. With the announcements of the new Dragon Balls, which one do you think are going to see the most play? Because the only one that's seen play besides Dragon Ball is 1-star ball, right?
Right.
Yeah, 1-star balls
Nobody's playing 2-star. 4-star just got announced, and I think 3-star just got announced.
Yeah,
right?
3-star is really cool because it can attack actives. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now.
I don't think 4-star is playable outside of anything that isn't that new Goku leader. because it's just a
10k
combo.
bump, dude. OP.
Yeah, no, I think 3K is gonna see the most play. I think 4 is just like cute, but 3 like plus 10K, that's great.
That's cute.
Like it's
Super Dragon Balls, draw 4, ditch 2, right? That's pretty freaking good.
That's gas.
Yeah.
That card is great. Is it it's like 1 or 2, right?
You cut out for a second. I didn't hear what you said.
What's the energy cost on the Super Dragon Ball?
Oh, it's
2
2.
energy. 2
2?
energy, yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it draws
fine.
4.
Especially if you're playing it like a hand controller. Oh, turn 2. I don't really have a draw 4 cards, put 2 away. Put 2 cards I want to hit later with Child's Wish, or actually, if you're doing it correctly, you Child Wish on the same turn. So you go draw 4, discard 2, put like a first attack Gohan or a Gotenks, Shenron, Child's Wish, get Gotenks, swing. You just plus 3 cards.
This new Super Dragon Ball lead is crazy too. Like it might see a lot of play with hand control, because when you flip it over, it adds a Dragon Ball back from your drop area to your hand instead of a wish card.
I like that.
So cycling like one star balls, or like, I guess Super Dragon Ball if you want to go that route too.
You want to draw 8 on turn 4?
Oh my god. Oh.
That's why I love Dragon Radar. I think Dragon Radar is a fantastic card, because there's so many times to where I've gone in a playing Shenron hand control, going turn 1, place an energy, Dragon Ball, Dragon Radar, Dragon Ball, and I just plussed 3 cards.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, Radar was definitely the best rare out of Miraculous Survival for sure.
100%.
Hold on,
2,
go back.
Pot agree.
Shenron the Almighty, that's a card I want to get to too.
OP, dude. Take another turn.
No, it basically is a great answer to Janemba.
Yeah.
It's a great answer to Janemba.
If Janemba gets absolutely out of control,
which I think it will.
No, I agree. I thought they were printing all these Dragon Ball leaders. At first I was thinking it was because they were going to ban the original Dragon Ball lead. And then I was like, no, they're just going through all of the Wish leaders because they have to.
When you have Ryan Severin, probably one of the better players in this game, Eric Goodwin, who's being told by his entire team to play Janemba, and you have Nick Morris, who we all know, come into Atlantic City going, I'm just going to play Janemba, it's probably the best meta call. You have myself going, play Janemba, it is the best meta call. You have some kid who foiled out a full Janemba deck, and he's still top 16 with it. That just says something. When you have 2 of the smartest minds in the game going, Janemba is the deck to play, it's going to be a problem going into the next set.
Oh, absolutely. Especially since we're probably getting more Janemba cards. Psyche Demon having more good targets might actually make it be worth playing in all Janemba lists. We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Janemba where it's at right now, power level wise. Like it wasn't Janemba finals at AC, but it was only 4 in top cut. So I mean, I think if they get a little weird with what Janemba support they released in set 6, it could get a little bit out of hand. I will say, back when it was Mecha, it was Flute and SS3 and all these cards were out, I was like super duper scared every single time spoilers came out for this game, because I was like, oh my god, what are they gonna let pass through the testing team this time? But lately I feel like they've been doing pretty good, so I'm not scared yet. But I mean, if they make another slip up, I'm gonna be very, very upset. But
and that's why I love Banlists.
And you'll see a video
Joey's gonna be there with his whip saying, "What did you do, dev team? What did you do?"
I'll be there with a video.
This Banlist makes no sense. This set makes no sense.
But that's why I love Banlists, and that's why I think games are healthy with a game. Restricted lists are awful, god awful. Get rid of it, hate it, fire.
I just want to play my cards.
But the thing is that Banlists are a great system of checks and balances for a game. Because think about it. You put a card on the ban list, what happens when card comes out and that card that was on the ban list is kind of okay again? You can take it off the ban list. Magic does it all the time. They have so many checks and balances with their system. People complain a lot because like, oh, my cards get banned. My cards, like, there's a good reason why it got hit. But later down the line, Magic unbans cards. And we realized that, oh, the cards that were powerful 2 years ago or 3 sets ago are not as powerful anymore. They're okay to come back. Who knows? For all we know, there could be something like a year or 2 down the line that says something against Cell Chain and they put back the 3-drop to 4, or you don't know that, or they could say Flute's off the list, or they say something like that. I think it's just great in its own.
Yeah, the restricted list it's interesting. Like in other games, I guess like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you're only allowed to play 3-ofs and the deck size is smaller, it's a little better. But in this game, having a 1-of in a 50-card deck where nothing is searchable is so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah, that's one of the things like I'm not a fan of either, is like tacky 1-ofs. Like, I don't know necessarily if you get hit by the 1 and yielding, it's going to be really crazy. I do think that the 1 of 3 drop cell is going to be really luck-sacky, though. That's going to be really, really annoying.
It's going to have you upset.
That RNG is awful for the game.
I'm going to be upset he's going to get that 1 of 3 drop cell.
3 drop cell? Oh, this Sackboy, absorb, vile replication, draw 2. What?
Like I said before, it's weird because, like, you have to play around it as if they have the 3 drop cell. Because if they do have the 3 drop cell and you're not playing around it, you're going to get blown out by it, which is kind of annoying. But
I can see it right now.
You can only get cell chained once. It's fine.
Yeah, I can see it right now. Joey goes to Atlantic. Joey goes to Vegas. We come back. CrossWorld TCG just uploaded a video. Title of the video: Bandai, why did you screw me over with the cell RNG?
You should have put it to 0. But yeah,
you should have put it to 0.
So we're gonna start wrapping up around here. I'm gonna just pass around the talking stick one more time to each of these guys.
Oh, you don't wanna chill for a little bit longer?
What?
It's only been like an hour and a half.
Boy, what time is it on the West Coast right now?
7.
Oh, and it is kind of late for us working men in the morning.
Oh, okay.
I have to drive to Boston tomorrow.
Oh no.
Joey,
Larry, you guys got stuff in the morning? I mean, maybe we could bring on another person and just keep the talks going. You know.
If you want to keep the talk going, I'm all game. I'm fine with it.
For sure.
Like we can just keep BSing around. So Joey, just give us the topic. Let's go.
Oh baby, throw me under the bus.
He's like, I want to be done.
I mean, I have to wake up in the morning for work.
Oh, okay.
I think for the first CrossWorldCast, this has been very successful, very good flow of discussion and good interaction with chat, and we'll definitely be bringing these more often. I wanted to say let's wrap it up just because it is getting late here on the East Coast. Your boy Joey's got his first day of the new semester tomorrow, so I do got to get up early for that.
It's his first day of school.
It's the first day of school, guys. Everyone wish me luck. But yeah, so let's say we'll wrap this one up for this time. I think it was very successful. I'm gonna pass around the talking stick one more time to each of these guys so they can kind of give their closing thoughts. So Cam, why don't you give your closing thoughts on this discussion, this podcast?
Closing thoughts. The Banlist decisions were great. Get rid of putting stuff to 1. It's absolute garbage. Striving to be the best on Goku is a great card in design. Burgos isn't that best. Janemba, Pan, Shenron, and Broly are going to be decks that you should see coming into the new meta. Cell Chain is still going to be very prevalent. And to sound it all off, I think that Broly with Mira Creator Absorb is going to be an insane combo, and that's just going to be cool to guys.
All right, Logan, your turn. Here's a talking stick.
Oh boy. It was a lot of fun being on here with all you guys. Hopefully we get this going again another time. Maybe we get like a mess around stream. That'd be cool too, instead of like serious talk. But I mean, we'll figure it out in the future. Stay tuned for more streams. I know that I've been building a bunch of stuff that we can play on stream, try stuff out. Maybe we can get a revolving door of people from like the Discord to come out, hang out, maybe make it more of a Discord hangout next time. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Leave us some feedback on our Discord below. Join if you guys haven't already. Other than that, I'm blessed to have you all here watching us, all 22 of you.
Larry, go
we
for
had 30
it.
at one point.
Yeah, we're hitting in big numbers.
Larry, here's a talking stick.
Well, thank you all for joining us and sitting through our ramblings for the past hour and a half roughly.
Yeah.
Again, join us in our Discord. It's a pretty good community over there. Freaking everybody's welcoming. We've had discussions from how garbage is the deck to can you make my garbage deck OP, and then they win the event. So it's a very, very nice community we have going on the CrossWorld TCG Discord, and very welcoming, and it's a good place for people old and new, to get into the game. So I really am proud of the community that we have going on the Discord, and this community in general, just because it's not like other card games where it's like, oh, you're trash, and I'm just gonna keep calling you trash because my head's so inflated compared to like, okay, here's how to get better. This is the whole Dragon Ball community is a lot better than any other gaming communities I've seen. Cam knows the League community.
Toxic.
Oh yeah.
Rip my boys. Rip my boys.
Yu-Gi-Oh can even be like that as well, and I'm glad that in this community it's like a very, very small percentage is like that, and that more often than not, a lot of the guys here are very, very welcoming. Like I said, like super proud of the Discord. Thanks a lot to Larry for helping me out with the Discord. Thanks a lot to Logan for getting him to work on the stream stuff. He's done an awesome job with that. Thanks Cam for being awesome and giving us some insight about judging. Thank you guys all so much for watching and tuning in. If you guys have not subbed to the channel, now would be a great time to do so. It would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you catch more of these CrossWorldCasts in the future and just our regularly scheduled videos throughout the week. And with that being said, we're going to bring this stream to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care and peace, people.
Bye, all.
Oh, whoops.